Hello and welcome to our Energy Connect studio at Future Energy Asia. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me Pei Pei, Head of Business Development, IHI Asia Pacific, to come and talk to me about what IHI is doing in the energy space. Pei Pei, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Now, to get things off, can you tell me a bit more about what IHI is doing in the energy space and what your role is?
Sure. So IHI, as many large Japanese conglomerates, we are actually 170 years old. So we established since 1853. It's a large heavy industry company. We have a main 4 pillars. So that's first pillar is our energy, resources, and environment. And then our second pillar is our aero engine, space, and defense. And then goes to our third pillar, which is social infrastructure. And the fourth pillar is general purpose machinery. So let's go deep down on the energy space, right? So energy is one of our major pillars. It actually consists of up to about 25-30% of our whole corporate revenue. And then, so what we do in the energy space, we used to be a technology developer. So we used to develop nuclear energies as well as thermal power plants. So we have some gas turbine as well. So that's where we are largely involved. And then for the regions, we are actually one of the largest market share in Malaysia. So we supply 13 out of 17 units of the boilers in Malaysia, and we also supply 15 units in Australia. So this in a nutshell what this IHI does in this space. As for myself, I head up the business development in Singapore. So I look after Asia Pacific in terms of business development, including decarbonization is one of the big themes as well.
Well, Pei Pei, that's really good to hear. Now, what is IHI doing around ammonia energy value chain?
Oh wow, that's a big question. So value chains, where do I start? We have long value chains in terms of upstream, midstream, and downstream. And as you know, I think IHI is one of the biggest supporter when it comes to energy transitions, and we do trust that ammonia can play a really important role in transitioning our energies. So we, for the past, I think 10 to 15 years, we have spent a lot of effort, human resource, and capital in developing new technologies, especially on the downstream side. So one of our very landmark project is the current JERA Hekinan project, and we are aiming to have it commissioned latest by end next year, I think 2024. So that is a really, really good project because that shows that how we can directly decarbonize coal power plants. So we are actually retrofitting a 1 gigawatt out of 4 units. So it's a total plant set of 4 gigawatt. We're retrofitting 20% of 1 unit, which means concept of 200 megawatts, the direct decarbonize of coal-fired power plants. And that's only just talking about the downstream side. And just 2 months ago, we did a MOU signing with GE. So as you know, GE is one of the largest market share with the gas turbines, right? So what we do is we collaborate with GE and trying to develop ammonia combustions in using gas turbines. And that is a large move for both GE and IHI, because GE has been developing hydrogen-ready gas turbines, but not on the ammonia side, where IHI being the pioneer in terms of ammonia combustions. So we're able to collaborate with the GE in the developing gas turbines. So we're really looking forward to our collaborations in that space. And that, having said that, that is just on the downstream bit. Moving on to the midstreams, we are actually collaborating with NYK, which is one of our partners in developing ammonia-fueled boats. So we provide the engines, they build the boats, and now we already have an ammonia tugboat running around Yokohama Bay at the moment. And having that, we also did ammonia engines in terms of onshore. So there's a lot of work being going on. Whereas on the upstream side, we also developed global ammonia production plants in the United States. And then with that, we also leverage on that capabilities and trying to provide engineering consultants in terms of Australia. So we are in Australia, we have a couple of projects with the sites as well. So this is where we help them with the feasibility study as well as the pre-feed and as well as the CS Energy too. There's a couple of deals that we have in Australia. So in short, on top of that, we in upstreams, we now, in terms of the new business development angle, we are looking to become project investors too. Because that's what we thought, right? When you actually have the demand on the downstream side, you also need to make sure that we have a supply of the green ammonia. So for what IHI is trying to do, we are just trying to promote and improve the entire value chains that enable this entire green ammonia supplies. So we hope with our involvement in this, and we're probably to start this green ammonia value chains as soon as possible.
Well, lots going on, Pei
Yes,
Pei.
many things going on.
I want to pick something out there. Can ammonia and should ammonia be used more in power energy infrastructure?
Yeah, so as we mentioned, right, with our collaborations, we think that at this moment, ammonia could be a really good transition fuel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as one of our examples that we have, which is the coal power plant. So we will start with 20%, but sooner or later it will be 50%, and then hopefully in the near future we'll be able to make it 100% ammonia fuel. So having a new fuel in the market is very important. So we are starting to transition out of fossil fuel, and then for the Jera Hekiman's example, we are transitioning out of coal, which is very important. But whereas our collaboration with GE will help us to transition out of natural gas. So having said that, ammonia will be a very important in terms of the power industry. And on top of that, ammonia is also a hydrogen carrier, as all of us learned about. And there's already a lot of hydrogen-ready gas turbines out there. So ammonia to be used in the power industry, I think is only going to be increased significantly in the near future.
Yes, and we're hearing a lot about the energy industry needing to decarbonise.
That's right.
What is IHI doing around decarbonisation yourself with clients?
Yeah, so of course, traditionally, like you mentioned, we are definitely a technology provider. So we are still continuously with our development in terms of our technologies, of course. So we are not stopping on our development, but at the same time, we are having this new, for example, business development divisions, which we are newly formed. So starting from May this year, we have our business development headquarters in Singapore, and the purpose of this is for business development is to help the industry to decarbonize. So what we do, we talk to our clients and to find out what is their struggle, what's their challenge in terms of decarbonizing, and then we'll be able to help them to providing our solutions to help them decarbonize their industries. So that's also an area that how IHI is helping with the decarbonizations.
Interesting. And what new technology development are you working on or looking to work on in the future?
So this is interesting because in-house, of course, Japan is based out of IHI is based out of Japan, but so we are having a lot of collaborations and studies together with other universities in Japan. But other than that, we also run our R&D outside of Japan. For example, in Singapore, we partner with A-STAR, which is one of the research agencies in Singapore, funded by the government. And last year, we have celebrated our 10 years anniversary. So we have developed a Nations, all of the nations project, which in a layman context, we convert carbons into olefins. So olefins will be able to make into plastics after that. And at the moment, we are started this new projects with A-STAR to convert carbon into sustainable aviation fuel. So SAF is, we think for sustainable aviation fuel is very difficult because you probably can't carry hydrogen as fuel on the plane as well, or rather ammonia. It takes up a lot of space, right? So sustainable aviation is very important, but whereas the raw material is scarce. So we think that converting carbon to sustainable aviation fuel is very important. So that's also a development that we are newly developed. But on top of that, I think IHI, being a 170 years old company, we have been developing new technologies, especially now that our focus is in clean energy.
Well, Pei Pei, a lot going on, and I really appreciate you coming down to the Energy Connect studio to talk about it all.
Of course, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for watching, and I look forward to bringing you more studio interviews from the show floor in the coming days.